Hi, my name is Wanda McKnight, and I'm your host for this edition of the McKnight Report. Thank you for joining us. We're here tonight with Professor Lewis Wright. Professor Wright has a degree from the University of Maryland in political science, a bachelor's degree, and he also has a PhD in political science from Howard University. He teaches political science at Howard University and has been doing so since 1986. Professor, good afternoon.
Thank you, Wanda, and thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us. When we return, Professor Wright will explain to us about political theory and what we need to know to be ready for the upcoming election.
Hi, how are you doing today?
What looks good?
Our special today is shrimp scampi. It's been sitting around for about a week.
Excuse me, what time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
Professor, I understand that you've created 3 courses in political science and political theory. Can you tell us about those?
Well, these are courses at Howard University. Some of the courses, for the most part, the components were created already, but I added some depth to them. Pan-Africanism, there are 2 courses, one graduate and one undergraduate, and then there's a course in Black political theory, which that's more of my creation. So those are the 3 courses. The courses are designed to meet the mission, for the most part, of Howard University. We try to make information available, techniques available to our students, a cross-network of students from various colleges and schools there on the campus where we actually give them this information.
So explain to us then how the concept of myths or social myths fits into all of this.
Okay. Well, in my courses, all 3 courses, I talk extensively in the earlier stages of the course about myth. And the reason we want to talk about myth is because all social systems have some myth. And a myth is something that you believe. It may or may not be true, but you believe it as if it's true. In fact,
I see. So it doesn't matter if it's true or not.
Well, it matters in terms of how it acts out. If you believe in a slave economy,
okay,
that has ramifications eventually. Because keep in mind, nature it takes no prisoners. Whatever you do in nature, that is what happens.
I see.
So, and we all live in a belief system. Hopefully that belief system is in conjunction with the reality of nature and the world. If not, then there's going to be a problem.
I see.
But that's the only way we know, because we don't know everything.
Okay.
So every system that you see is animated by myth. So what I was going to say about the myth piece is that myth is like your foundation. It is the material, it's the mud that grows your ideological structure. That is, how you organize the world, how you think about the world, how you logically act in the world, how you evaluate the world. So that becomes the superstructure of what you are. For example, Karl Rove is a master strategist in the sense that he knows how to go deep into those myths and play them.
Give us an example of that.
Well, for example, a wedge issue would be gay marriage.
Okay.
Most Christians would say, okay, we don't, not all Christians, but a large percentage of them. And there are some who would go along with that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you control...
Go along with the issue of gay marriage, or...
Yes.
I see. Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, you're going to probably find that there are certain classes of folks within the religious Christian community. It's a no-no.
I see.
Now, think in terms of, for example, less than 1% of the population is involved in gay marriage.
Okay. And you mean that these are the people who are actually getting married to each other? I see. Mm-hmm.
Now, at the same time, you have health care,
okay,
poor whites, poor blacks needing health care.
Sure.
If a strategist is able to hang around the neck of a political candidate that he is supporting gay marriage, then of course the poor guy who needs health care, he needs jobs, a whole array of things that he might need, he will vote against the candidate who supports gay marriage, even though that's not going to affect him very much.
I see.
And many times the folks who are playing this, I don't know what Karl Rove's proclivities are, I'm just simply saying he knows how to play the games, but there are people who are gays who are actually pushing it.
I see. Pushing against gay marriage?
Against gay marriage because they want a certain group or a certain party to win.
I see.
So they use gay marriage, they use abortion. These are hot-button issues in certain groups of people that would, because of their belief system, they will actually go against their own welfare.
So are you saying then that these master manipulators are actually using these myths to make people vote against their own interests?
When I say myth, they understand what's deep in the thinkings of the public. So therefore they go in and they touch that hot button. It's like, for example, your husband or your wife or your girlfriend, you know that they have hot buttons. Mm-hmm. And if you say certain things, they get very upset. And
I see.
Okay, well, that's because you believe a certain way.
Well, now, Professor, you have given us a lot to think about. And what is the one takeaway, if you could capsulize all of this or summarize it, just let us know how we should look at this in terms of voting and electing our leaders.
Well, it's very hard to go into the general public, but I think and talk about this and they'll understand it. But I think programs like this, I would like to see a program like this map out some of what we've been talking about here today in very general terms.
Okay.
And make that information available to the general public.
So as voters, we need to inform ourselves?
Well, I think it's very difficult because the media basically are just reproducing itself. It's very difficult for me to tell you how, given that, other than just say, folks, vote your heart. I mean, but then they may vote their myth, which may be not necessarily good for them. So
how about if we take away that we need to make sure that we're aware of the difference between our myth or our own perspective and what might actually be happening in society at large?
Well, if they do that, that would make me very happy.
Thank you so much, Professor, and thanks for joining us. That has been extremely informative.
You're welcome.
You've been listening to the McKnight Report, information you really want. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition, and remember to stay tuned for next week's edition of the McKnight Report. Again, information you really want.